This is Ava, and I'm just going to give you my personal background on that, and my heart goes out to you. I had a dad that was before his time, thank goodness, because he he moved
I
us
just
from
remind you to keep your phones on mute, please. Okay.
he moved his children, his six surviving children, from Los Angeles to Colorado, a very small town. We went from a huge city to a small town, so he could start a new life with his children. We owned a grocery store. We all worked the grocery store. He had in his vision that he was going to turn it around for his children. He wanted us to have the best in life. We didn't have a lot of money, but he also knew that we were carrying a burden a child shouldn't carry. And his program of unconditional love and having us play sports and going up on top of the mountain, just sitting with him and talking with him and bonding. He just knew, we would open up and we'd let him know how we felt. And through doing so, and I think that's what's important, you have to have, especially a child, and even adults, somebody that you can trust and that you can open up to and share every bit of it. Don't hold back. I know that we get judged. I know there's adults that are like, why are you sharing this? Well, I think that people are starting to catch on. If we don't share it, mental health is not going to keep getting better. It's going to go backwards. And I love that all of us are here sharing and hearing your stories, and I thank you for that.
Thank you, Eva. And thank you all of you for sharing that. Moment for questions.
Hi
Ava,
everyone. Sorry, this is an article from Los Angeles, and I just want to do a quick plug for the mental health diplomat network that we are building at J&J. Something that you might have seen communication around is that, to answer the question a little bit about how to talk to folks with mental health illness, how to kind of handle that. There is a course that will be offered on mental health first aid. And just like regular first aid, where you give people CPR and you get them at least stabilize until somebody who's more experienced comes to help. The idea is the same for mental health: is to recognize signs and symptoms that are troublesome, and really to give you an idea of how to talk and how to connect with a person who's experiencing a mental health crisis. So there's the mental health diplomat network that is being built across J&J to, all with an effort to fight the stigma and to continue the Herculean task that we're also interested about. So just a little plug there.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for sharing this. This is really important, and I think there are resources that we are now we have in D&J, and they are opening all the doors for all the resources as well. Thank you so much for sharing. This is important. Great.
Sure.
Hi, my name is Cindy Boykin from Raritan, and I had a question regarding the amount of people that I find from young age, teenagers, 20s, 30s, in different cultures, races, because I'm a community advocate, that have this mental. What is the reason why is it so widespread? I haven't heard of so many within 10 years. I just watched a program on that just a little bit ago, and really they said one of the first things is more. It was a good thing because there's more communication around diagnosing. So when we're getting the word out there, more people are being aware of different mental illnesses, and they're able to. We're able to actually look at somebody and basically self-diagnose them, and then lead them to, hopefully, lead them to other medical care. And the other reason is because some of it is hereditary, so it's hereditary environmental, and it is becoming a little bit more prevalent. There was no real Hi, my name is Donna Sabatino, and I'm a nurse in the infectious disease space. I'm an HIV nurse, and I've been for about 26 years now. I've been working for J&J for almost 12 in a role called the community liaison. And I just wanted to say thank you because I don't have a huge background in mental health, but many of our HIV positive patients that I've been working with for well over 2 decades suffer from not only HIV, which is very stigmatizing, but many of them are also living with mental illness as well as substance use issues. And I have just found it so helpful in my practice and in my everyday life of being an advocate for those living with HIV to be part of these calls. And I just want to say thank you. I think we've seen many people with dual diagnoses. And I don't mean dual diagnoses in just the mental health space, but in different categories of health, mental health as well as physical. So thank you for sharing all of this, and I will continue to be part to continue to grow my knowledge. Many of my patients are living with BALL.
Thank you. Really appreciate your points. They are really very, we need to continue this dialogue, this type of conference, teleconference. We need to talk more about the mental illness. We need to learn about the mental illness from all the perspectives. I am a psychiatrist, and I really love that we can have conversations. So it's the real life. I probably received the patient, very sick patient, but the patients that they are, the community, really, they are the patients that really need the most. So I'm very happy to hear all of these comments and also the advocacy that we have internally here. I'm very happy to be part of this.
Yes.
Any comments from your side?
I'm sorry?
Do you have more comments for us? I do have a question for you.
Okay.
What do you think we can help to be sure that the stigma is controlled of mental health? You know, the stigma of mental health is out of our community. What do you think from your perspective? What we should do?
I think that we need to not only help the adults, but I think that we've got to start educating at a younger age. And I'm not just talking about the big cities, I'm talking about every small town in the world. If there's any way that if J&J could come up with some type of program where adults that are willing to champion a voice, and I thank everyone that is sharing, because this makes me feel, I mean, I'm so used to going out and advocating and hearing stories from people, but I'm hearing it from people with J&J. To me, that is really big, and I'm deeply touched by it. But if we could somehow build a team that could go in, and maybe teams, because, you know, there's a lot of schools, but if we could start some type of program and go in and build self-confidence and self-esteem and share with the children, you know, this isn't something to be afraid of. Mental health is something, just like if you were to get hurt and go to a hospital, we must talk about it. So I would be an advocate. I would love to be a part of that in any way that I could. And let's knock this out of the ballpark. It sounds like everyone, you know, has voiced their opinion and they're sharing, and we just need to take it a little further and start hitting the schools. I haven't heard, I mean, maybe somebody out there can share with me where we are going into schools and we're educating the children that especially have parents that have a mental illness or a mental health, problem. So I don't know, is there someone out there that knows of a program that goes into schools?
They started a program called Avidom that is, I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing it correctly, but it's basically We Got Your Back. And it's becoming very prevalent in schools.
Wonderful.
Where the kids are being advocates themselves, which is amazing. So but as far as like training people, I think we need to get out there and train people.
Hi, this is Liz Barker from the UK. I can just share that in the UK, Johnson Johnson as a company do support some community activities where we may not be going in ourselves, but we're actually supporting by helping fund mindfulness projects in schools, in local schools, and I'm going out to see a mental health in primary schools talk as well at the end of September. So we are observing and supporting in the community in the UK for definite.
How wonderful would it be to have adults whose lives as children were touched by mental health in a negative way and were part of that team and went in and shared their own personal story. And of course you would have to, abide by a program that would be suitable for the children, but to be that team that could share from their experience as a child and where they are now in a positive manner to all the children at the schools.
I couldn't see why it couldn't be incorporated into the health aspect of, the school curriculum. I mean, if you're going to tell the children how to take care of themselves, stay healthy physically, then you might as well incorporate the mental health aspect into that category as well, and to develop curriculum at a school level that the school can implement, so that they can touch all the classes and bring awareness through this curriculum.
What a great idea.
Maybe it's at the school level, at a government level, they enforce the curriculum that need to be taught at what levels that need to be taught at. But if, again, if it's that health aspect of how to eat right, exercise, et cetera, and so forth, I can't see why we couldn't incorporate or build a mental health aspect of that overall health curriculum to speak to what we're talking about.
Brilliant idea. I like that idea.
I agree, because I think so often we separate mental health and physical health, and many other cultures are closely entwined, and it's really
No, exactly. If you're going to talk about depression and anxiety, well, physical, activity helps alleviate some of those things. So, again, if you're going to talk about one thing, you might as well talk about the other thing and incorporate a curriculum that is a more robust curriculum to speak to both aspects, because they can be interrelated.
Yes.
Ruby, this is Michelle. I just kind of want to share for the benefit of the group. So, Eva, I have a tremendous amount of respect for you, and I really hope we get to connect because as an employee of Johnson & Johnson, I grew up with a bipolar mother, and I, too, am writing a book that's going to be done soon.
Congratulations.
But part of my journey and part of my healing was really making a difference for kids, having kids realize their greatness.
Yes.
Because that was a missing for me, having a mom who was bipolar.
Yes.
So I created a program